right, guys, welcome to another tool talk on the table. My name is Tom, and today I've got a video that I'm kind of excited to show you, and it's because of how proud I am of it. This video right here I'm pretty excited about because I have been working hard on this for a couple of months, at least a couple of months. It might even be longer than that. I've been working on modifications to this, to the Leatherman P4, because I was super excited. I was not only super excited about this tool, but also epically disappointed in this tool at the same time. I mean, I've never been so like, holy smokes, I really love this, and at the same time, holy smokes, this is trash. What in the hell were they thinking at the same time? So it was a weird situation for me. So I got to thinking, well, there's got to be something that can be done. We got to be able to fix this thing. So this might be a little bit of a long video. I'm not sure. We'll try and get through it as quick as we can. But my biggest issue with this tool was the fact that most of the tools were not useful. I would say would be just a blanket accurate statement from me. Most of them were not useful. Most of them were just derivatives of the Leatherman Wingman. That's how I felt about it. That's kind of came through in my review of this tool. So it's just not good. And then the plier problem, the plier head issue, the binding plier head issue. I mean, yeah, it's just always been, this thing's always been so close to being good, but yet so far, you know, just kind of a situation. So let's get into it. Let me show you some of the modifications I made. Here it is. On the outside, it looks pretty much the same as it always was. And what I've done to this tool is I've basically taken everything that I didn't like about it and fixed it. Okay, so let's just start on this side here. On this side, if you remember correctly, if you guys have one of these, or you remember, you had main blade, then you had the package opener, and then on the other side of the package opener was a long screwdriver type thing on this side over here. So let's take these out and kind of show what we've done here. So on this side you had this screwdriver that was reminiscent to the one that was in the Wingman. There is a modification that you can do to turn this into a driver that fits this, but that's not a choice that I wanted to go down. That's not the road I wanted to go down. You could do that to try and make it like a, you know, like using a Super Tool 300 rebar, that kind of thing. You can use this adapter and grind this down to make that work. That's one option. The other option is to put in a bit exchanger. So here is my bit exchanger. So there's the bit exchanger, and it holds Leatherman flat bits right there. So it's now got a bit exchanger, and you know, you can use it just like the Surge, just like the Charge, the Wave. So that's basically that. It's also got a driver on the side as well, to where you can use it in a 90 degree as well. So so that's that. And to get this to fit in here, you have to take out two of the large tools, which is the package opener and the screwdriver. Package opener and screwdriver have to be removed to fit this in. And then you have to get the width pretty perfect in order to make this have no play and to work perfectly like it did, and managed to get that done. So that's one of the modifications there. Now on the other side, keep in mind, I liked the package opener. So I wanted to keep the package opener. So on this side, I moved the package opener to the other side. That's the package opener that was on the opposite side. And then the tool that I kept here is the screwdriver depth gauge with the wire stripper. This is the one that I thought was the most useful. And that's just, I guess, my personal preference out of all the the crap that's in this tool. This is what I found to be the most useful. So I kept, these are the two tools I kept. It's still got the original serrated blade, which I like. This is like the first serrated blade in a long time that I actually like. And then what I did is we added a T-shank adapter here. So this is a T-shank holder, and it accepts, this is the saw, not the saw, but the file from the Surge, and the Surge. Yeah, so this is the file, the T-shank file, Leatherman T-shank file, and the only thing that you have to do to get this to fit is just saw like a millimeter or so off of the end so it fits in the tool. But this is a T-shank holder right there, and it works really well. And I can put the Leatherman wood saw. I can put any T-shank anything in there, just like you can with the Surge. So that's that. And in order to get this to fit, the spacing is pretty critical. And I wanted it on this side to replace the saw, because I don't need the saw anymore. The T-shank adapter takes the place of needing the saw. So I got rid of the saw on this side. I got rid of this absolutely worthless file, just as close to worthless file that I've ever used. And I got rid of this, I don't know, what are you going to call this thing? They called it a reamer awl, but it's really garbage. This thin thing, you can hardly put this thing through soft wood without damaging it. So this I didn't find useful, got rid of it. The can opener, got rid of it. Multi-tools do not need can openers anymore. So got rid of this worthless tool. So these 5 tools is what I got rid of. Replaced them with the T-shank and the bit exchanger. That's what I replaced it with, and I couldn't be more happy with this tool now. This may be my new favorite multi-tool. This thing is badass now. I've got it. A lot of hand filing went into this. A lot of meticulously fitting and measuring went into to getting this thing to fit perfectly. And it came out awesome. I love it. I've been using it. I can't really comment on the durability of anything yet. I don't feel like there's been enough time to make those kinds of comments yet, so I'll keep you posted in the future. But then this tool, because it's everything that I need in a multi-tool and nothing I don't need, I'm able to carry a lot less stuff now. And I'll kind of show you. Remember, I made a recent video of the loadouts that I take to work, and I also like to keep, seeing this space right here, I like to store magnets on both sides right here. I find a lot of uses for small magnets like this at work. For if I have to do a cage layout and mount a bunch of equipment, I can take the cage layout and stick it to the cage with these magnets, and I don't have to worry about, where did it go kind of thing. It's stuck to the cage, and I can just look at it and put the stuff together, and it's very handy. Or if I need a list of IP addresses to set up or something like that, I can just stick it to the side of the cab with these magnets. I love carrying little magnets, and they have a lot of different uses. But one of the things I wanted to point out that I just thought of, and I'm sorry I'm going back to this side, one of the things I had to do that you'll notice is that one of the springs is I took out one of the springs on this side. And I moved it to where it was closest to the blade. And my line of thinking was that is if the lock were to have a problem, I want it to be the strongest at the blade. But as it turns out, there's very little spring pressure needed for these locks to work, and they're no less they're no less failure prone than they were with both the springs. And I'll tell you, with one spring in here, this becomes a lot easier to operate the tools. I've got the tools tightened tighter so they don't fall out like they did before. Like when you're using them, they would slide out. They don't slide out now because this pivot is tighter, but it doesn't matter. The tools are just like super easy to come out because I've only got just the one spring. So none of the tools on this side I felt like were critical for the lock. But it turns out a happy happenstance is that it works perfectly anyway with only one spring. This side, I figured this was a little bit more important. You've got the main blade, which is a lot harder to get out. I mean, it's twice as hard to get out as you might expect because of having two springs. It's not hard. Again, I prefer these pivots to be tighter than stock. So these pivots are tighter than they would normally be. So this is a little bit harder to get out, but it's not a big deal. And the main attraction to this tool for me is the one-handed stuff. I'm always got my hand on something or doing something with one hand, and I need my tool, and I need to be able to get to something one-handed. And I really like that feature. It's one of the reasons I gravitate towards Gerber and anything, truly one-handed. So this tool had a lot of promise for me, and now it's awesome. Now it's just, it couldn't be any better. This tool is now what Leatherman should have made, in my personal opinion. So, and then the case I carry to consolidate what I'm carrying. I cannot believe how much less I have to carry with this tool because it does so much. So now my loadout is this. This goes into this snap-in case, and I made a dangler because I like I liked it kind of loose on my belts because when I get down real low, if I have to get on the ground on my knees or whatever, or sitting, this gives me a lot of flex. It moves around my body and doesn't pinch on my fat rolls. You know what I mean? Fat guys unite. You know what I'm saying? So if you're a fat guy, you understand what I'm saying. Sometimes these edges will poke into you and stuff because a fat roll got in the wrong spot, So on the back of here, I've got 14 bits on the back here. And these are all the ones that are the most used right here. Carry them right there. And then I've got my extender that fits right here, and this is now my screwdriver. I use this as my small screwdriver. If I just grab this, and this is my small screwdriver. This works in my electric screwdriver just fine as well, so I don't have to change anything. I don't have to change any bits. I don't have to do anything. And then over here, to complement this is where the rest of my gear is, right here. This is a Skinth pocket, whatever they call this thing, pocket doohickey. This is the Skinth pocket doohickey. I'm not sure the exact nomenclature on this, but over here I got my little pry bar, and this pry bar is also magnetic. So sometimes when I need to stick something real easy, I just use this as well. I can just stick it to something. And also this keeps me from losing my pry bar when I need to set it down. I just stick it to the side of a cab. So there's my little mini pry bar. And then on this side, this is where I keep my saw blades for this tool right here. T-shank saw blades. I got my, well, I guess I pull it all the way out. But on this side, I've got my hacksaw blade that I probably should replace that actually. Been using the piss out of this thing lately. But anyway, I keep my hacksaw blade, And then on this side, there's my wood saw. This is a Leatherman wood saw. And it's, brand new, never going to probably ever be used. I mean, you never know. But, I mean, the only thing I can think of that I've ever used my saw on my multi-tool for, my wood saw, is one time I had a pallet break, and it had like a piece of wood sticking out. It still had all the crap on top of it. And this piece of wood snapped out, and it was sticking out where, you could trip over it. So I just sawed it off. But that's the only thing ever. And I guess you could say, well, that's all you need to carry a saw for right there, for those unexpected situations, And then over here, I keep the rest of the bits that I may need. These are mostly Allen bits on this side. I believe all of these are Allen bits. Yes, these are a full set of Leatherman flat Allen bits. And you never know when you're going to come across that. The T-shank adapter uses Allen bits, so, just one of those things to keep those around. And these are my screwdriver extended bits. I keep both of these for anything that I need a little bit more reach for. So I keep both of these right here. And with this setup here, I don't need these as much anymore. I used to use these pretty much exclusively because of other tools I was carrying. But with this tool, I don't need to. I mean, it's so quick and easy to, get the driver out of this tool that I've just used this, So anyway, that's the modifications to the P4 that I've made. And I honestly am proud of this thing. I think it's amazing, and it has been really doing the trick. And for those of you that want to know what this holster is, this is a design by Zap Wizard. You can just do a search online for his stuff. And yeah, big thanks to this guy for designing this thing. I really liked it. It really works out well. I'm going to be running it through the ringer. I just got this, and I've been wearing it since I got it, and man, I really like it. I mean, my loadout is just this now. This is what I've been carrying at work. Just these two things right here, and it's just everything I need and nothing I don't need, and this has just worked out sweet. So it's been a huge lift off of the amount of weight that I carry, and then once in a blue moon, I'll carry my small electric screwdriver with me, made by Skill. I've got a screwdriver I like a lot made by Skill. Maybe I'll show that sometime. I have other more expensive electric screwdrivers, and I always go back to that same one. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it didn't go on too awful long. If you have any questions about anything that I showed you on this tool, drop them down in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer them. So now this tool is what it should have been, but I paid $140 for this tool, and then plus my modifications that I made, the trial and error, just a lot more money went into this thing. I probably have $240 or something like that invested in this one tool, just because I wouldn't give up on it. I just refused to just go, okay, well, my wingman or my charge is better and my wave is better, I'm gonna just carry that. I saw potential in this for my personal needs, and I needed to make it work better. So that's what I did. I hope you liked the video. Talk at you later. On and in.